Welcome to Halo Headlines.
Welcome, Spartans, to Halo Headlines for the week of November 2nd to 28th, part of Podcast Evolved, your home for Halo. I am your host, Aaron, and with me today we've got Tom.
Na 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 na.
There will be no advertising of your other gigs while you're here. Shh. Before we get started with this week's headlines, we just take a quick minute to give a shout out to all of our patrons for your continued support. You guys help make everything we do possible, so thank you very much, patrons.
Thank you guys, you're awesome.
Yes, as a small Christmas treat to ourselves, the patrons bought us all the season pass for Halo Infinite, so we would just like to thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for that, guys, actually, that's really awesome. We really do appreciate everything you make possible. I mean, having just a little bit of budget to work on some projects this past year has made so much more possible, so really, really thankful for you guys supporting Evolved.
Yes, I've said it a few times, but it's so much easier to do stuff when you have some cash to get things started. Alright, we are going to dive into the headlines for this week. We have a little bit to talk about, so the first thing we have here is the Halo Infinite Fracture event. So this is the Tenrai event. Its launch was this week.
Yeah.
Yes, as of the time you're listening to this, the first week will be over, but we have news it will be back, so you don't have to panic just yet in case you missed it. We got a little lore for the Fracture event. This is actually quite interesting. So we have fractures are divergent Halo universes or timelines, but for the most part they all orbit the same themes. Each particular fracture can share a variety of elements in common with core canon, but recast in a different light or interpreted in a new way. So when we come to the Tenrai armor, or the Tenrai lore, embroiled in a bitter clan war for generations, the warlords of the Tenrai Fracture now stand united against the invading Covenant barbarians. Forced into an alliance against the relentless Covenant and their colossal glass dragons, the 343 clans of the Imperial Court have shared one secret knowledge to create new armour and weapons forged by mortal hands but blessed with divine force. It is through these new tools of war, unimpeachable honour and peerless skill that the clans will fight and win against the invaders and reclaim the 7 provinces lost to their depredations.
Just by the language there, I'm convinced that Grimm wrote that.
It does sound like one of his creations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's just something about it there. But I like this. We've had a little look into it before with the Master Chief Collection DLC that came out recently for the new armors.
Yeah.
This is like the closest where I've said it before that we will get to a Halo What If. I'm always down to see what else they come up with.
Yeah, me too.
So we've got some specifics here on the Tenrai event for people. So it is available in 1 week intervals, and it is going to run for a total of 6 weeks throughout Season 1. The first event will have finished by the time this news goes live. The next event will be January 4th to 10th, then February 1st to 7th, then February 22nd to March 1st, then March 19th to April 5th, and then April 19th to 26th. So you will get 5 more opportunities to participate in this event. The award track has 30 tiers and is free. You unlock the Uri Armor Core armor pieces and Uri and variants.
Yeah.
You level through the tiers by completing event challenges, which are done through playing Fiesta. And the event challenges are layered in among the players' weekly challenges. So the only other thing you have here is you can only complete 7 challenges per week. And there are a total of 42 event challenges available. A player can miss 12 across all of the active weeks and still earn all 30 rewards. We've both played a little bit of this. I only jumped in today, really. I've not been doing a big pile of Halo this week, so I've got to look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
Some positives, some negatives. We won't get too into it. You will get our thoughts mostly on the live show next week. It's an interesting event. The armor looks cool.
Yeah.
The community does have criticisms, much like with the regular Battle Pass. There are some positives and negatives with this.
Yeah. I think that's a fair way of putting it. That's a very diplomatic way of putting it.
Yeah, we have some community criticism here that Oren has collected from around the internet. So, the maximum of 7 event challenges per week means that tier 30 can't be reached until the 5th week, which, like we said, yeah, that makes... It kind of makes sense, and it's kind of prolonged, but it's not the end of the world. Event challenges are mixed into the weekly challenges. That is my personal biggest criticism, because I don't necessarily have the time to work my way through all of them. Some armor pieces advertised with the event are actually locked behind the real money store, and that one's a little bit of a kicker.
This is the most egregious bit to me, because I think if you're gonna advertise an event and the core piece of armor at that event is locked behind real money, then you're kind of doing a disservice to your advertising.
Yeah, that to me is the thing. They said, oh, you can get all these things for free, and then they have stuff that you've got to buy. Not particularly fussed on that, but the next one is you've got to re-earn the armor coating for the URI armor core. Tom, you were describing this to me, but you've basically got to re-earn it again to apply it to other things.
Yeah, basically armor coatings don't carry across cores. So if you've got a green Reach style Spartan, you won't be able to get a green URI Spartan.
Yeah, a little bit of the segregating between cores. It would be nice if they could undo that. The other one here is that unlocking weapon coatings is on an individual per weapon basis. Yeah. That is very Halo 5 Warzone, where you were... The thing that will always stand out to me is that was it Master Control was the like black and white neon sort of weapon skins, and I waited for ages to get the BR one of those. I had all the others except for it, and I waited ages. At least you're not waiting for random packs to unlock for this, but still.
Yeah, the thing is, and I won't go too in depth because obviously this headlines, but it just feels like it's forcing more playtime. And if you're forcing more playtime, then it suggests that there's an issue with the system.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of things look as if they're there to prolong playtime. Yeah. And with the sort of like sparse offerings available at the minute, it really stands out and looks painfully obvious. So hopefully they can tweak that stuff and work away with it. And we will see how this event goes or what changes before the next week. Next up, we had a tweet from Sketch. So, been travelling, so slow to respond, but please know that the constructive feedback is being heard loud and clear. Challenges will take time, and our priority this week is giving the team a much-deserved break for the holidays after a long final stretch. Thank you for understanding. So that it was Thanksgiving for the Americans this week, so everyone's chilling, but they are listening to what people are saying. And on a final note here, if you have ideas or feedback for 343, please be respectful and constructive. Do not be a dick, please. No one needs to have you shouting at them. Offer constructive criticism. Things you think might make improvements, might work better. Don't just shout at people on Twitter or Reddit or wherever it is.
I think the thing to note as well is, at the end of the day, these guys have been working incredibly hard on this game for us during a pandemic as well. So just bear in mind that, yes, we will be frustrated about the little things, but actually these guys have had to go through all of the same stuff that we've went through the past year. So just be a little bit kind and just remember, actually, it's not the be-all and end-all if this game isn't perfect at release. The reason why it's a live service game is so they can improve it over time. So let's bear with them. Let's give them the chance to make those improvements. And let's feed back to them in as respectful a manner as we can.
So we will see how it goes. But like everyone has to remember, Halo 5 came out and wasn't that great when it came out. And Halo 5 finished its life in a pretty good state. So like they can make changes. They can update things.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I think that will cover us for all of the headlines for this week. It's not been too crazy a week now that Infinite multiplayer is out. Thank you for listening to us and joining us for another week of Halo Headlines. If you've enjoyed this episode and were unaware of who we are, please go and visit the website, halopodcastevolve.com. It features a library of all of our episodes for Podcast Evolve, Mission Debrief, Builds with Blocks, and the Book Club. Also go and listen to our partners Josh and Will over at HCS Pro Talk. If you want any competitive news for Halo, they are your people to go to. They are going to be much more knowledgeable than we are.
100%.
Once again, another special shout out to all of our patrons for supporting us and helping make the show possible. If you would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolve to learn more. And with that, I have been your host, Aaron, and until next time, evolved.
Evolved.